Cool.
And we are live on a Saturday morning special edition of Wits and Wagers. Look at this. Carson's in early with us this morning. What's up, Carson?
What's up, guys? How we doing?
How are you? And Mr. Kirkpatrick,
good.
how are you?
Good. Glad to be doing this on Saturday morning. Hopefully some people are up listening to us.
Well, you know what? We got to get our picks in. I mean, every week we get our picks. We got to do it. You know?
And any questions that the audience has, fantasy-wise or wagering-wise, we'll hopefully be able to help them out. We had a couple last week. We had a couple questions. Aaron Jones or Edmonds. Edmonds did a little better than Aaron Jones. And Packers defense also hit last week against 49ers.
By the way, I'm going to start it off with a question because our guy, Eddie, sent me a direct message this morning. You guys tell me what you think. He did a little of the he did want to hit, what is it, like the not the DraftKings, I guess, like the list where you pick your team. And the lineup in DraftKings. And he went with Josh Allen, Fournette, Gallman, T. Higgins, Kirk, DJ Metcalf, Waller. His flex is Emmanuel Sanders, and he went with Buffalo's defense. Then he says to me he was going to have Judy, but he's questionable. See, I like Judy a lot this week. I do.
I've been liking Judy. I told you a couple weeks ago. I'll be worried about the Bills' defense today. I don't know what you guys think. That would be my one concern. Kyler Murray, home again. DeAndre Hopkins. That team can put up points. Mm-hmm. Buffalo on the road. I'd be nervous about that one. I might want to look into a different defense. What do you guys think?
Go ahead, Carson. By the way, Zoli's saying gamblers don't sleep in.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, like it's weird because with you got to make sure that the everything lines up with like the salary with like DraftKings or FanDuel.
Yeah.
So I mean, if that's the best option that you have, I'd say go with the best defense that they can give you. But if you have a couple like $100 that you can kind of upgrade or you can downgrade on a player to get a better defense, that might be the better move as well.
Yeah, you know what defense I like a little, Carson? What about the Vikings? Because I actually picked them up in a fantasy league. They're getting a little better. They're playing the Bears. What do you guys think about the Vikings over the Bills? Because I agree, Kenny. Arizona's going to score. You know?
Well, I don't know what like Carson was saying, I don't know what the value is on the Vikings. But I got one, and I'd love to hear Carson's thoughts on this. Mm-hmm. Washington going into Detroit.
You know what? That's a game people might want to look at.
I think Detroit's good up for. I think this could be a big game for Detroit. Big defensive showing, surprisingly, for Detroit.
Yeah,
Alex Smith at quarterback on the road, on a turf. It's a little different playing field. I think Detroit can come up with a big game plan today.
Okay, Eddie's saying he's going to have to look and see what he can move around, and Zoli's saying he's agreeing, saying it's a tough matchup for the Bills D, which it is.
Look into Detroit. That would be my opinion.
And I like Minnesota. I like throwing Minnesota out.
He's from Detroit, so he knows his Lions. So if you want
that's a good game to look at. If you need a wide receiver or I don't know. Alex, he could go off. I mean, the Lions are they're so all over the place. I mean, we give up a ton of points against everybody. So that'd be definitely a game to look at too.
Well, Eddie, if you're listening, one last thing on this. I picked up J.D. McKissick because all Alex Smith does is dump off.
Yep.
To his
very true
running backs. And I picked him up, and I'm starting him this week over a couple other guys. So he's available. He's going to be really cheap. I mean, he's available, but he's going to be a really cheap option if you want to, change things around a little bit. But I like the rest of your team.
All right, so let's get into this. Let's start with college today, Kenny, all right? We'll do a little college first.
Yeah, we got a lot of games canceled, spikes in the COVID, unfortunately. But like I was telling Carson in the audience, 2 weeks ago was what? Halloween. Mm-hmm. Everybody was out trick-or-treat. Last week and a half ago was the election. Everybody's out. I work in the hospital atmosphere. It's normal when everybody's out that you're going to get these spikes. So you're going to see this for a couple of weeks. And then it's going to probably, in my opinion, ease up a little bit again. But unfortunately, we got a bunch of games canceled. A lot of SEC, Pac-12 games. Coastal Carolina was canceled, but we got a decent slate of games that we got to pick for you guys out there.
Okay.
We'll start it up.
All right, here we go. We're going to start SEC style. We're going to go Florida at home after their huge win against Georgia. They are hosting the surprising Arkansas Razorbacks. The spread right now is 16.5. Florida given 16.5. What do you guys got on that?
You want to take it first, Carson, or you want
Sure.
me to?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Florida on this one. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Florida over Arkansas. I just don't think Arkansas can handle it. They're on the road at Florida. They have been having some interesting games lately, but I'm gonna go with Florida in this one.
All right, I'll jump in on this, Kenny. I totally agree with Carson. I think there's a lot of people out there, I've been listening to a couple of shows this week, and everyone's on this Arkansas bandwagon, and Florida on a letdown. But like Carson said, the talent differential is so big in this. I mean, 17 points. It's not 34 points. It's 17 points, and you're going to tell me they can't beat them by a touchdown a quarter? I'm with Carson. I'm going Florida.
I'm going to disagree with you guys. I was watching College Game Day a few minutes ago. I did not realize the Florida quarterback Franks transferred to Arkansas. Little motivation there to keep the game close. I think it's going to be close. I think Florida wins by like 14. I don't think Arkansas, like you guys said, have enough to beat them. But I think Franks plays well enough to keep it close, and I think it's about a 14-point game. So I'm going to take the points. I'm going to go Arkansas in this one.
Okay, that'll be one game I will be watching, and this is the other game I will be. I'm not a big fan of the 12 o'clock slates today. I know Carson is. But the 3:30 game, Notre Dame, after that great win last week at Boston College. Now, this line started at 13.5 to 14.5. It is now 10.5 points, Kenny. So where are you going? Notre Dame, you're going to lay the 10.5 points at Boston College. What do you got?
Well, whoever I take here, to take the opposite. I never get Boston College right. I'm taking Boston College, which means take Notre Dame. And after we pick this game, I want to ask Carson a question that we had on Wednesday's show. So after we do this.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Well, let me jump right in, because what did you just say?
I'm going to take Boston College, though. That's my
what did you just say? If you take Boston College, take Notre Dame, right?
What was that, Kurt?
Didn't you just say I'm going to take Boston College, so take Notre Dame, right? Isn't that what you just said?
Yes. But when I bet Boston College that game, just take the opposite.
All right, that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm taking Notre Dame minus 10.5. I think it's close for a while, but again, I just think Notre Dame is so. And they said all week they watched that 1993 when they beat Florida State. Remember that, Kenny? I want to say we were in high school or maybe it was first year of college when they upset the #1 Florida State, and then Boston College went into Notre Dame and beat them. I don't think it's going to happen. I think Notre Dame is going to beat them, but like 14. But I'll take Notre Dame. Carson, where you want to go?
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. I think people are gonna. It's gonna be a closer game than people realize. Boston College they held their ground. I know Trevor Lawrence was out when they played Clemson, but they kept it close for a while. Notre Dame's one of those weird. I mean, I think they're right where they're at. They're a really good team, but I feel like it's gonna be closer than what people think for a while. But then I think Notre Dame's gonna pull away at the end.
My question, Carson, was on Wednesday. I had a question for the panel.
Oh yeah.
Notre Dame beat Clemson last week, but the top four stayed the same in a different order. So we got Alabama #1, Notre Dame #2, Ohio State, Clemson. On the outside looking in for the playoff is Texas A&M 5, Florida 6, Cincinnati 7, dropped down a couple spots, even though they're winning, BYU, and then it's Miami and Indiana. Agree with the top four was my question to everybody, and my question to you. And would you put anybody from 5 to 10 in that #4 spot?
Wow, that's a tough question. I mean, I'm keeping a close look at Cincinnati right now. I mean, you could easily, I think they could be like at #5 right now instead of #7. I mean,
Agree.
Say that again.
I say I agree with you, Carson. I do.
And the other argument that Kurt and I are on the same page with this, with the Independence, BYU, we're ranked 8 right now.
Yeah.
They just blew out Boise State last week, guys. And, my argument, Kurt's argument is you're independent. You don't play a league championship. You don't deserve to be in the playoff because you're playing less game than, a championship. You're going to have Clemson and Notre Dame face each other again, and BYU is just going to get an easy ride in. We don't think that's fair. But they're blowing everybody out is the argument. But Cincinnati is going to have to play a championship game, maybe against a Central Florida. It might be against an SMU. Decent teams. Memphis is in that league. They've been playing decent teams. So I do believe Cincinnati should be in that top 4 right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, go back to what you're saying about BYU. I mean, Cincinnati's kind of independent as well, but I mean, they're blowing out teams themselves. I mean, they killed SMU, and they were ranked 19. I mean, I'm looking at all these scores. They looks like they beat them by at least 20 or more in like every single game that they played it. They faced off against. So it's going to be really interesting to see, like down to the wire, like at the end of this year, where they're going to place BYU and Cincinnati if they go undefeated. That's going to be a really tough call for the community to make.
Yeah, I agree. Kurt, our buddy Eddie Murphy saying he went crazy last week with the Irish win. I think a lot of people did.
Yeah. Great game. Hey, like we talked about the great game. They deserved it. Scored 47 points on Clemson. They deserved it. Kenny, let's get to another 12 o'clock one. A real good game. Virginia Tech, surprisingly, a 1.5-point favorite at Miami. Carson, where do you want to go?
Miami's at Virginia Tech.
Yeah, Miami's at Virginia Tech, and Virginia Tech is giving 1.5 points.
Let me see here.
By the way, guys, I'm sorry to Eddie. Just you can't see it, but Eddie just sent us a picture of we're on the big screen in the Murphy household. So
sweet.
We look pretty damn good on the TV, Carson.
Awesome. Yeah, this is a tough game. I mean, Virginia Tech is at home though. I'm gonna say Miami gets this one, but it's gonna be a very close game. I think. I feel like Virginia Tech's gonna hold their ground against Miami for a while. Yeah. I mean, I'm looking at their previous games here, and I mean they beat Louisville by 13. Obviously, got blown out by Clemson. It barely got by Virginia, so I'm gonna and NC State. They only beat them by a field goal, so I'm gonna go with Miami in a very close game, though.
Okay, I agree. I'm gonna go a little opposite. I think very close game, but I am gonna take the home. I'm gonna take the Hokies. It's usually when something's wrong with that line. Why are they a 1.5-point favorite? I think Vegas wants everyone to jump on Miami, but I think VTech's going to take it. Kenny?
You stole my thunder. My question would be, Vegas wants you to, in my opinion, I think Vegas wants you to take Miami here. If Miami was a 3 or 4-point favorite, there would be a lot of people taking the points with Virginia Tech.
Totally agree.
And now that Miami's they want you to take Miami for some reason. Our next 3 games, Kurt, are Big Ten. We forgot to do our little Big Ten review with Carson. You got anything you want to add? I know you're Michigan State.
I'm sorry, Kenny. So you're going VTech on that one?
Yes.
Okay.
We got 4 games on our slate here with Big Ten. But what do you got? Anything to add with the Big Ten last week besides your Michigan State not showing up?
I'll say one thing. I have no idea how we beat Michigan. I know even Michigan's having a really, really weird year. They're all over the place. Harbaugh's seat is getting harder than ever this year.
He's trouble.
Yeah, and then we get blown up by Iowa 1 week later, 49-7. So this team is so all over the place. We're facing a really, really underrated Indiana team. I don't know, man. I hope it's close, but I think Indiana's going to get us today.
Okay. Let's start, Carson. Let's just go right to here. We're going to go tonight, 7:30 primetime game. You just talked about Michigan. Michigan is at home. against Wisconsin, who hasn't been playing, hasn't been practicing. Wisconsin is now a 6.5 point favorite over Michigan. I'm gonna start this one off. I'm taking the 6.5 points. I personally, I think Michigan gets the upset. I think, like you said, Carson, his seat is so hot right now. He needs a big win, and I mean a big win. He lost already to Michigan State, which that's one they look at. The Ohio State, they're not going to beat that. I mean, he's got Penn State left, and Michigan and Wisconsin to get a big one.
Penn State.
Yeah,
there's no guarantees with Michigan.
I'm going Michigan tonight, Carson. Where are you going?
This is a weird game because Wisconsin hasn't played in a while. I feel like they're gonna be ready though. They've had some time off. I know they're on the road at Michigan, but Michigan, man, they are looking just all over the place, man. I'm gonna go Wisconsin in this one by like 10 points, I think.
Kenny?
I'm with you, Kurt, on this one. I'm going to take Michigan because you said it last week against Carson's Michigan State. Iowa was what? They were a desperate team, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't even watch after like the first quarter. Michigan State did not show up, but they caught an Iowa team that was desperate. I think Michigan is desperate, obviously, and Wisconsin having that layoff. I could see them coming out flat. And Michigan jumping up to a 14-point lead, and that's going to be really hard for Wisconsin to come back. I'm with you with the outright upset. I can't believe I'm agreeing with you on that.
That's sometimes. And then let's get to the big one that Carson's here for. Surprising Indiana at his Michigan State Spartans. The spread now, I believe it's 7.5. I'll double check it for you. It is 7.5. And Carson will go last. So Kenny, you could start this one.
This is a tough one. I would only because it's on here. If I was betting it, I would like no. I'm not putting a dime on this game. I'm going to take Michigan State at home. And just be like one of them teams, Carson.
Mm-hmm.
1 week they show up, 1 week they just
Kenny, you want to laugh? I actually was listening to a podcast yesterday, and the guy said this is why he's taking Michigan State. Just exactly what you said. He said the pattern is don't show up. They didn't show up versus Rutgers, showed up versus Michigan. Didn't show up versus Iowa, and he says they show up this week. So it's off, on, off, on. I'm going to go with you, Kenny. I am definitely going to take the 7.5 points.
I'm taking Michigan State to win in a high-scoring game, though.
Yeah, they said high score.
Like this quarterback for Indiana, Carson. I think he's only a sophomore, and I just found out he went to a school in New Jersey, about maybe 15 minutes, 20 minutes from where we grew up, Kurt and I.
Okay.
I didn't realize that, but the kid's good. They're comparing him to Tua already.
Oh wow! Okay, yeah.
Yeah. See, I'm with you, Kenny. I think it's gonna be a lot of scoring points. I don't know if they win. I think again it'll be a close game. I mean, it's gonna be, but I'm definitely taking the 6 points.
The weather by you today, Carson, in Michigan?
It is. Let me see here. It's cold. It's 40. It's chilly. 35 to 40 degrees.
See, that scares me a little bit, Kenny, with Indiana.
Does it get windy in that stadium?
Yeah.
Give me Michigan
State. Blowing hard.
Give me Michigan State today. I think Indiana. I wouldn't be surprised if Michigan State wins the game.
I wouldn't be surprised. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised either.
You guys took the words right out of my mouth. I don't even know what to feel about this team because you guys even said it. Like we just got embarrassed by Rutgers, and then the following week Michigan overlooked us, and then we upset them, and then I don't know if we got cocky and we said, okay, we just beat Michigan, let's go to Iowa, and then I guess we relaxed and we got blown out by Iowa, and then I don't know what Mel Tucker's going to say to the guys, but I feel like it's going to be a closer game. I feel like that we're gonna have something to prove, but I'm still unfortunately going to go with Indiana. I think it's going to be a closer game, though, than people I think it's going to be really close. It might go into overtime, I think. Okay. I'm going to go with Indiana, though. I'm I'm gonna say they beat the spread in the fourth quarter. It's gonna be close until the fourth quarter, and then Indiana's gonna kind of take its own game.
You know why I like Carson? He's like a realist. You know, like on his team, he's picking against his own team. Kenny, we always pick our teams. Always.
Yeah, I know.
Always.
I agree.
You know, he's a realist. That's good.
Get in the NFL, and you'll see where I'm going in the NFL.
All right, another Big Ten. Northwestern at Purdue tonight. Again, I am very interested in this game. Purdue, a surprise. Both teams are undefeated, I believe, correct?
I know Northwestern is.
I believe Purdue is undefeated. They have still not had their best player, and Northwestern is a 3.5-point favorite at Purdue. Who do you like, Carson?
Man, let's see. Purdue's beat Iowa and Illinois. Northwestern, they have beaten Nebraska, Iowa, and they blew out Maryland. So I feel like it's a really, really evenly matched matchup. I'm happy for Northwestern that they're in the top 25. Props to them. Hopefully they can kind of, keep that ranking when they face Purdue today. Purdue is a tough place to play though. At home, I'm gonna go with the upset. I'm gonna go with Purdue that beats Northwestern here.
Kenny?
Exactly what Carson said. I know it's a tough place to play. Northwestern's riding high, but it's a different ball game. I don't know where they played their games that they won, Northwestern, but this is definitely their toughest matchup to date. Give me Purdue outright upset.
All right, I am going to go against you guys on this because I am a believer in Fitzgerald. I think Fitzgerald always, again, it scares me a little, like you said, that it's at Purdue, but only 3.5. This team is very good. I'm going to take, again, it can go either way. I would not be shocked if Purdue does beat them, but just for picks for today, I am going to go against you guys, and I'm going to take Northwestern. But I'm very interested to watch that game because, listen, one of these teams is going to still be undefeated in that league. So, very interesting.
It's at a weird time. It's at 5:00 Eastern time. It's a weird time for a game.
Yeah, I don't get it either.
Yeah.
Next game we got rolling. We got USC, who burned Kenny last week with their upset. Kenny was totally upset about that game.
Arizona State was an 11-point underdog. Had them as my outright upset, and
they almost got it.
Collected touchdown, and then an onside kick where you ever see the water boy? And the kicker's looking at the guys, who's my bitch? Who's my bitch? Who's my bitch? Looked right at that one guy, and the guy, he froze when the ball was coming to him. And USC got the onside kick, and we know what happened from there.
I'm going to start this off. I am going to lay the 14.5. Arizona, they said, had I don't know who the guy is, but they were saying the defensive coordinator that they hired, like in the past 3 years, the defenses he's ran hasn't been better than 98th in the country. So I'm not taking that against USC. So I will lay the 14.5 and take, I think, USC big today.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I think Arizona's first game of the year. I know USC, they barely got by the skin of their teeth last week. If they don't recover that onside kick, the game's over. It's gonna be a close game, but I'm gonna go with USC though.
Okay.
I'm on board with you guys. I think USC has a little too much talent for Arizona. I think they win by 3 touchdowns.
Oh, we got an NFL. We got an NBA question. By the way, Kenny, Wednesday night is going to be our NBA. We're going to do a draft special show on our K&K, right?
Oh yeah, we're doing a little spoiler. We're going to do an NBA draft lottery special.
That's going to be sweet. I'll try to tune into that.
So we'll do that while the draft's going live. And we have a question before I forget. I know this is the NCAA football show, but who you think is better for the team? Russell Westbrook to the Knicks or James Harden to the Nets? Because both of them, there have been rumors of both of them this week. What do you think, Kenny?
Well, we're both Knicks fans, Kurt. The Knicks hat. I think if Harden went to the Nets, they would be considered the super team and the favorites. But can you see the egos on that team? Durant, Harden, and Irving. Do you think they would get along? As opposed to Westbrook going to the Knicks, it's going to be Westbrook's team.
Right. I think they
and I'm
need
not
that
saying
star.
I'm a Knicks fan. That's just my opinion. I think Westbrook to the Knicks would be better.
Me too. Carson, any thoughts on that?
I'm with you guys. Yeah, I feel like because all three of those guys, Harden, Irving, and Durant, they're all they want to be prime time. Give me the ball in the hands, and make a shot. And all
It's just not a good mix.
So it's like what if the game's on the line, who do you give the ball to? You know, I mean,
right.
they're obviously they'd be the front runners, and they go far, probably make the NBA Finals. But I don't know how that system would run. I don't know how.
Great call.
Yeah.
You're a Pistons fan, right?
Yeah. Oh God.
What pick do you have this year?
We have the 7th pick.
Oh, you're right before us.
Of course, they'll pick our guy.
I know you go on at 8:30, but if you want to, we're probably going to go on a little early that night. If you want to join us and analyze who you'd like for the Pistons, come on for 5-10 minutes before you.
Sure. Yeah, I'd love to. That'd be great. Yeah.
I'll set it up with you. We could get you on at like 8 o'clock or something.
Sure. Yeah. I feel Knicks and the Pistons both got robbed this year in the lottery. I felt like the Knicks and us are going to be like the 4 or 5 spot.
We get robbed every year. Every year.
Yeah, I feel so like it's rough being a Pistons fan right now because we have the whole Blake Griffin nonsense, and I don't know what we're gonna do with him, and his contract's way too expensive. But the Knicks are just, I'm sorry, guys.
I know. Trust me. By the way, Eddie saying I dislike Harden a lot was feeling the same way. All right.
I think Harden's going to stay in Houston, though, Ed. That's the other reason.
Well, they don't like each other, though. They said they.
I don't think the Rockets are going to break the team up totally.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If they had to get rid of one, I think it's going to be Westbrook.
Yep. All right, let's get back to Kenny. My team, Marshall.
Yeah, Coastal Carolina was on our list, but it got canceled. They were going to be playing Troy. That game was off the board. So the next one we added, Kurt, we got a couple that we added.
Okay, we're going to go Middle Tennessee State against my Marshall team. My Marshall team, meaning I bet them every week. I mean, how can you not? 23.5 points favorites over Middle Tennessee State. Again, 50th. This is the 50th year of the terrible plane crash with Marshall.
Yep.
And I just think today they're going to, honestly, it's just emotional there. I think they're going to just put it on them today. So I'm going Marshall big. I think Middle Tennessee State's in major trouble today. Major.
I couldn't agree with you more, Kurt. I can't believe how many games we're agreeing on. I think this game is probably my easiest game on the list today. They fall right in the category of Cincinnati. Cincinnati, they played yesterday, so that's why they're not on the list, but they were given 27.5. They covered again. Marshall, are they going to make it to the playoff? No, but they can make it to a good bowl game if they stay undefeated.
Right.
And they're just going to keep rolling up the scores on these teams, and they're that much better than these teams. So Marshall by at least 35 today.
Okay, Carson. Before Carson picks, I'm embarrassed to say this on air. I have never, and Eddie saying "We Are Marshall's" a great movie and story. I have never seen that.
You've never seen it?
I know.
You better go on Netflix and watch it right now.
Carson, have you ever seen that?
No, I've never seen it. I'll have to check that out.
I heard it's
Matthew
fantastic.
McConaughey does a great job.
Yeah, I heard it's fantastic.
It's a lot of football in it, so you would likely like it.
Cool.
What do you got, Carson?
Yeah, Hall of Famer Randy Moss, his school, man. I mean, I can't go against Marshall. Very happy. I mean, they're ranked 16. Props to them. This is going to be a big blowout. It's going to get ugly before it's over.
Totally agree. All right, let's.
We got a couple alternate games because a couple got canceled, so let's add our 2 alternate games in, Kurt.
All right, first game we got is back to the Big Ten. Nebraska at Penn State. I believe Penn State is a 3.5 point favorite. I'm going to be honest. I am very disappointed in Penn State. You know, I'm sorry, 2.5 point favorite. I had Penn State last week at home against Minnesota. Maryland, and Maryland's running up and down the field on you. I'm taking outright upset. I'm going Nebraska. Carson.
Yeah, I'm disappointed in Penn State too. I feel like, I mean, they had a really brutal loss the first game of the year against Indiana. Controversial call at the end, and I think after that they just kind of
that game killed them. That game killed them.
So I'm gonna go. I feel like Penn State gets the win though here. Nebraska's a good team, but I'm going to go with Penn State in this one.
By the way, Eddie's calling me out. He's saying I'm embarrassed to call you an ex-coach if you haven't seen that movie, LOL.
Me too, Ed. Me too.
Where you going, Kenny?
Well, reality just hit. I'm disagreeing with you, Kurt and Carson. I'm taking the Nittany Lions. I think.
Wait, didn't Carson pick Penn State?
Was that?
Carson picked Penn State.
Oh yeah, I'm going against you, Kurt. I think Penn State finds a way to get back on track. Close for a while, but I think they win by 7 at the end, and I think Penn State gets the win.
Okay, and we have our last college football game. It's an early 12 o'clocker. TCU at West Virginia. The spread is 2.5 West Virginia. I'll start it off. I like West Virginia. I thought they played well last week, even though they lost. They were on the road, but I like them. I definitely like them at home, and I will go with West Virginia. Kenny.
I'm with you, Kurt. I think West Virginia's not overachieving, but I think they're playing hard for the coach. I think they're playing well. And I think they take it to TCU in the 10 to 13 point range. So
okay.
Definitely take the point. Give the point there.
Carson?
Yeah, this is a coin flip. I feel like West Virginia, they're coming off that tough loss last week against Texas. But TCU, though, they can hold their ground. So, oh man, this is a tough one. I'm gonna go with TCU in this one. I feel like they can hold their ground. They're gonna take West Virginia in this one.
Okay. All right, Mr. Kirkpatrick, that's our college slate for the week. Let's go. We have 26 minutes. Let's roll through these NFL ones. Are you guys ready to go?
Sure.
All right, we'll start off with Mr. Kirkpatrick. Again, gave me all these games in order. We're going to start with his boys. His New York Football Giants at home against the Eagles, first place Eagles. I mean, the Giants are a game out with 1 win or 2 wins. But that's the NFC East, man. That's the way it rolls. I'll start this one off. Kenny's going to love it. Not only am I going to take 3.5 points, I'm taking the Giants in an outright upset. And Kenny, I think you're going to be able to sit back, drink your Turkey Hill iced tea, because you know why? It's not even going to be a 7-point game. Giants by 10 this week. Am I nuts? Am I nuts?
No. You know, I'll jump ahead. I mean, what have I been saying for weeks? The Giants have covered every game except one, and that was the 49ers, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't see that in the NFL where teams cover every week.
Stop with the covering. Are they going to win this week?
I think the Giants are covering every week because they're, you could say, overachieving. They're playing hard for the coach, so they're covering every game. Coaching staff as well. The Giants are a top 10 defense, believe it or not, this year.
I do believe it.
Give me the Giants as well in the outright upset, Kurt.
Okay.
I think they win by 3-7.
Eddie's saying we only win if Danny Turnovers plays turnover-free like last week. Big key.
Yeah.
Carson, where you going?
Giants have had a very tough schedule this year, and they've held their ground almost against every game, kind of like what you were saying, Kenny. They lost the Eagles by 1 point 2 weeks ago. I feel like they get them this year. I'm with you guys. I'm going Giants by touchdown.
Okay.
Nice.
That's the kiss of death. We all took the Giants. That means they'll get beat. Kenny will be swearing at us next week. All right, moving along. The disappointing Tampa Bay Buccaneers last week got shellacked versus the Saints. They are on the road at Carolina, giving 5.5 points without Christian McCaffrey. Carson, Tampa Bay minus 5.5 at Carolina. Who you like?
Tell you what, guys, I thought this whole time Tom Brady wasn't human, and last week he's human, so I can relate. He's one of us, believe it or not.
By the way, Carson, you're getting a shout-out.
Man.
You're getting a shout-out from Joe Monty saying, Carson. Joe Monty's giving you a shout-out.
Yeah, what's
Carson.
up, Joe?
No, thanks for joining.
Thank you, Joe.
I appreciate you, dude. Yeah, I'm going to go with the Buccaneers in this one. I feel like they just got embarrassed last week. It happens to the greatest teams of all time. And, Tom Brady, obviously, we all know he's the GOAT, and he just it happens. You just have a bad game, and I've got no worries at all. The Buccaneers are going to smoke the Panthers this
Yep,
week.
and Eddie's saying Tampa Bay by 21. He's pissed. I'm with you, too. I think this is easy. I think Tampa Bay, especially without McCaffrey, there's no way Carolina's going to be able to keep up. So I'm going Tampa Bay big. Kenny?
I'm on board with you guys. I know Petro was his best bet. It's close to my best bet. I mean, all signs are pointing to the Bucks. I mean, if it was anybody but Brady, I might say 38-3. Give me the Panthers with those points, but it's Brady, and they're going to come out red hot tomorrow,
Okay.
and they're going to win by double digits.
One of the late games tomorrow on the docket, the Cincinnati Bengals. Surprising again, another team, Carson. They're always in the game. At Pittsburgh. I'm going to start this off. Everyone's going with the darlings. You know, Ben's hurt. Every time everybody says Big Ben's hurt, he always comes back. I'm the hero. Listen, he's going to play. There's no doubt about he's going to play. 1,000% he's playing. They're saying it had nothing ever to do with his knee. It was the stuff with the COVID, and they said he cleared all that, so he's clear. And I think their defense is just going to swarm Burrow. They'll run the ball down their throat. I'm going to go 2-touchdown win for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Carson, where are you going?
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I feel like Joe Burrow's having a good season, but I feel like next year he's going to be really, really good. He's kind of getting used to the NFL right now. I feel like he's going to be a great player in the future. But I mean, the Steelers defense, and they're gonna blow through that offensive line. They're gonna get to Burrow fast and quick, and I'm going with the Steelers, like you said, in this one.
Okay. Eddie's going up. Bengals upset Pittsburgh. You agreeing with him, Kenny, or disagreeing with him?
I agree with Eddie and Coach Joe Breslin. I think the Bengals, I don't know if they pull it off, but they cover that spread. Do we have word on Ben yet? Is he playing? He hasn't practiced all week.
Again, they
COVID scare.
they said they expect him to play. So
Dallas.
That Dallas game, I don't want to look.
Pittsburgh easing up a little bit.
Yeah.
The Bengals offense is better than Dallas's offense right now.
Yes.
I'm going to take the Bengals covering the 7, but the Steelers find a way to win it.
Okay. So Steelers remain undefeated. Next game is Carson's boys. Okay. Carson's Lions, 3.5 point favorites at home against Washington. I'll start this because I'll be honest. I was big on Washington when they had Allen as the quarterback. Now that he's out, I'm not an Alex Smith fan, so I have no confidence in that team. I think Stafford leads them at home, so I will go Carson with your Detroit Lions minus the 3.5. I'm picking the Lions this week.
Nice.
Where are you going, Kenny?
Might be my best bet of the week. Detroit, I think, puts up a defensive, like, this is going to be one of them fantasy football performances. Detroit has 20, and like, how did Detroit get 20 points on defense? A fumble recovery for a touchdown or a pick six. I could see Jeffrey Okudah getting his first pick six in this game.
Okay.
Nice.
Alex Smith, great story, but you pressure him, he's gonna be dumping the ball off here and there, and I just think it's gonna be too much for him. Detroit's home. I think Detroit wins by 10.
And Carson, your boys, what do you got?
Trying to be the realistic picker here. Kenny Golladay is out again this week. Our offense is not functional. He's such a big piece of our offense. We just flow and we move the ball down the field a lot more nicely when he's on the field. He's out again. Washington, I don't know, man. It's going to be a really interesting game because, like you said, our defense is so up in the air. We could have a great game, and then most of the times, we just kind of usually give up. We're one of these teams where, like, I feel like Stafford has a big influence on the entire team because, like, if he throws like a pick, it almost feels like our team just shuts down, and that's kind of what happened against Minnesota. It felt like we just stopped trying, and if Stafford doesn't turn the ball over, I feel like we win this one. If we have like 2 turnovers, it's gonna be a closer game. I'm gonna go with the Lions in a very close game. I'm gonna say by like 6 points, like 30-24.
Okay, so you will go with your Lions.
Yeah.
Okay, but the confidence level, and Eddie's saying Lions without Galladay. I think Jones will have a big game. Agree or disagree with him on that?
Yeah, Marvin, he's got to show up more this season. We need him badly because we don't really have I think our third best wide receiver would probably be Danny Amendola. So yeah, Marvin Jones, he's got to step up big in this one in order to secure the W on this week.
This is the game Hutchinson shows up.
Okay.
Ingram had a big game last week against the Redskins, Washington football team. I think Hawkinson has a big game.
Okay. So then you would go to what, 4-5?
We go at 4-5, and then we would face off against the Panthers, and then it's Thanksgiving. So if we can somehow get to 5-5, I mean, like every little glimpse of hope that we have, we just get annihilated the next week. So it's like we're almost there, then we go back down. So it's such a roller coaster of a team. It's a mess.
But you got a shot. I mean, you do have a legit.
You're joking aside, guys. A month ago, we were saying terrible Thanksgiving Day games. If the Lions can go win the next two games,
right,
6-5, who are they facing on Thanksgiving?
The
Texans.
7-5 could be in the future.
Right. And you know what? Let's get right into the Texans, Kenny. They're 3.5-point underdogs at Cleveland. I have zero confidence in Deshaun Watson, so I'm taking Cleveland minus the 3.5. Carson, what you got?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Cleveland too on this one. I feel bad for Deshaun Watson this year, man. They're kind of all over the place. I know they got the win against the Jaguars, but it's the Jaguars. So I'm gonna go with the Browns in this one. I feel like they're more talented than the Texans.
Kenny?
J.J. Watt overrated. I think not. I don't want to say overrated, but I think age is starting to catch to him. All those injuries starting to catch up to him. Give me Cleveland as well. At least a touchdown favorite.
Okay.
A touchdown victory.
I like that.
Sweep
the board with that one. All right, here's my mismatch of the week. This is I wish Beelan was here. This is what we were talking about on the high school level, Kenny. Here's my mismatch of the week. The Jacksonville Jaguars with Kenny Kirkpatrick at quarterback is 13.5-point underdogs going into Lambeau. I don't even have to talk about this. Just I'm clicking the yellow logo. Green Bay's going to destroy them. Get ready for Trevor Lawrence coming your way, possibly, or Justin Fields, because they're going to want no part of going to Lambeau this week. I'm taking Green Bay by 24. Carson.
Yeah, it's the Jacksonville and the New York Jets. It's a battle to see who's going to get Lawrence. I'm obviously going with the Packers in this one. If I was the Jags, I would just lay low on the radar and just
that's it.
Your second string in and just move on.
That's it. Move on and get out of Wisconsin. Hope there's no snow and just get back to Florida. Kenny, where are you going?
I'm sweeping the board with you guys. I told you on Wednesday, I think the Jets are going to find a way to blow the number one pick.
I agree with that.
End up winning a game, and they're going to lose a coin flip come draft day. They're going to win a game along the road, and Jacksonville's not going to win anymore. They won week one, and they have not come close since. Green Bay, it's not even going to be a backdoor cover because Green Bay is going to be up by 28, and then you might see your first Jordan Love of the year.
Yeah.
I'm going to go, okay.
I say they win by 21. 20 to 21 points.
Agree. Now, my boys, and I'll say this, they're getting 4 points at the Raiders. I'm going to put something through my TV if I see your guy Pat Shurmur running screens and tight end reverses in the first half, and then we get down by 21, and then we start running a no-huddle up-tempo and let Drew Lock throw the ball over the field because I've had enough of Pat Shurmur. I've had enough of him now. I don't know what the hell he's doing on offense with this Bronco team. We don't get the ball to Jerry Jeudy. When we do, he explodes, but we don't get him the ball in the first three quarters. We don't get the ball to KJ Hamler. We're running like double tight, and we're trying to be like we're like the Steelers and running the ball down people's throats. That's not who we are. It's not who Drew Lock is. My patience is very thin with Pat Shurmur. I'm giving him one more chance. One more chance this week. I'm taking Denver But I'll tell you, if he pulls one of those, honestly, get rid of him next week because Shermer Locke has been worse this year than last year with Scangarella. So my rant's over. Kenny, what you got?
What's Denver's record?
3-5.
So basically, in our Rocky Mountain Oyster bet, I can afford Denver to win
Yeah.
this week.
Yes,
So
definitely.
I'm going to take Denver in the upset.
Okay. Carson.
I think the Raiders got lucky last week against LA Chargers, and I could see them having a letdown this week at home. Give me the Broncos.
Carson.
Yeah, this game's going to be a coin flip. I mean, you could go either way with this, but like you were saying too, Kurt, they got to get Jerry Jeudy more involved. I feel like he's going to be a future Pro Bowler wide receiver. Drew Lock's got to step up. I'm going to go with the Raiders though in this one, but I feel like it's going to be a close game.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, Judy's a stud, man. Like you're saying, you got to get this kid the ball. Like,
Yep.
Kenny, you sold me on him. I'm starting him tomorrow.
No reason why you can't get him the ball against Las Vegas' secondary.
No, exactly. All right, let's pick up pace, Kenny. We got
He's not facing me. You're not facing the top defense here. Get him the ball.
All right, Kenny, we got 10 minutes. Let's go. Good 4 o'clock game we were talking about before. The Buffalo Bills at the Arizona Cardinals. I'll start this. I'm so disappointed in Arizona by losing that game last week to Miami. Very disappointed in them. That's why I don't believe they're a true contender at all in the NFC. So I am taking Buffalo plus 2.5. Outright. They're going to beat Arizona.
Got an outright? I'm disagreeing with you, Kurt. I'm going Cardinals bouncing back. Second game in a row at home. They got upset by the Dolphins last week. You know they probably had a tough week of practice. Well, wait, it's Cliff Kingsbury. They might have been sitting back.
Right, yeah. They're drinking margaritas. Right.
With the fireplace in there, in Arizona, fireplace. But,
right.
No, I'm still going to take Arizona. I think they find a way to bounce back. Buffalo on the road, going to the West Coast.
Okay.
After a big win against Seattle, all signs are pointing to me for the Arizona win. I'll take Arizona.
Okay, Carson.
Yeah, I'm going with the Bills on this one. They're red hot. They're on a 3-game winning streak. They're going to go into Arizona, hungry for them. I feel like Kyler Murray, he's gonna struggle this game. I'm gonna go with Josh Allen. He's putting up a great season. I'm gonna go with the Bills by like 2 touchdowns against the Cardinals.
Okay, and then we get to another NFC game. The Rams at home are a 2-point favorite against the Seahawks. I'm going to be honest; these are both teams I hate, but not hate, but just I don't believe in the Rams at all, and this is why I'm taking. But the Seahawks too. I mean, they couldn't stop Buffalo at all. But I'm going to take. My whole thing comes down to Russell Wilson versus Jared Goff. No comparison, so I will take the Seahawks in a upset on the road. Carson, what you got?
Yeah, I'm with you, Kurt. I think Russell Wilson, he's having one heck of a year. Kind of had a little choppy game last week against the Bills, but he's my MVP this year, and I feel like he's going to have a big game against the Rams on the road. Rams they're a good team, but like you said, I had more praise for them at the beginning of the year, and they're kind of all over the place now. So I'm gonna go with the Seahawks in this one.
Kenny?
I'm with Carson on the Seahawks. But when have we ever heard Seattle having a bad defense, right?
Atrocious defense.
I can't remember when they had a bad defense in the last 20 years. They're terrible, but like Kurt, you said, Wilson and Goff, I'm taking Wilson. And I'm taking this Seahawks team in a shootout, like a 27-24 type game.
Okay.
The Seahawks pull the upset off. I agree with you guys.
All right, next one we got the New Orleans Saints, who looked phenomenal Sunday night, are hosting the team that is in – listen, this team is in shambles, and we called it beginning of the year. I know I did, Kenny, that they were not – the 49ers, listen, they're in trouble, and they're in so much trouble, Carson, that I read something that they want to get rid of Garoppolo, and they want your boy Kirk Cousins next year. Listen, they're done. They're in trouble. They're going to get absolutely blasted Sunday against the Saints. Saints are going to beat them by easily 20 points, 20, 24 points. I'm going Saints minus the 9.5.
Yeah, I had some questions about the Saints, but after that game against Tampa Bay, I mean, you could easily put them in the front runner for at least the NFC Championship game. And I'm with you guys; they're gonna destroy the 49ers. 49ers look very dysfunctional right now.
Kenny, please don't say you're taking the points with the 49ers.
Absolutely not. I'm taking the Saints big. This is all like a repeat of like 2 years ago, all the 49er injuries. You know, Kittle's out, the running game's a mess, the receivers are out. Everybody's getting hurt on the 49ers.
Well, Kenny, hold on. I got to interrupt you, Kenny, because remember how we're going to start, Carson, we're going to start this on Wednesday. Kenny said he wants to start doing where it's like the best comment of the week. We're going to give like a giveaway or something.
Oh, sweet.
Eddie Murphy might have the best one. He said, who in their right mind would want Cousins? LOL. There you go.
I'm on board. That's no-brainer for Saints.
This
Big.
The next game's this is the toughest game for me to pick. It's the Chargers at the Dolphins. Dolphins impressive with a win at Arizona.
Yep.
I don't know. Carson, it's 1.5 right now. Miami's a 1.5 point favorite. Who do you like on that one, Carson?
The Chargers remind me of the Giants. Again, they've had a lot of close games this year.
Great analogy.
They're 2-6. You guys know how much I love Justin Herbert. I feel like he's going to be an absolute stud in the next 3 to 4 years. I don't know though. Tua's getting there. He's going to, he's coming on the rise. This is going to be a very close game. I'm going to go with the Chargers in an upset here over the Dolphins.
I agree with you. Just like you said, Carson, they could have like 5-6 wins, this team. And Eddie's going Chargers. I love Herbert. I'm with you, Carson. I'm on the Charger bandwagon. They beat Miami. Kenny.
I disagree, guys. I'm gonna jump on the Tua train.
See, that's why I like Kenny. That's why I like you picking last, because you always disagree with us. So it's like it would be no fun if you start.
Here's my boldest of predictions. Another question I had is Tua a dark horse for Rookie of the Year? No one said yes, except me. I think he is a dark horse if he can continue to win with this Dolphins team and get them to the playoffs. You got to consider him a dark horse for Rookie of the Year. That being said, I'm going to go on a bold prediction that the winner of this game, the quarterback, will be the Rookie of the Year.
Okay. Eddie's saying Kenny doesn't like agreeing with you, Kurt. LOL. He doesn't. Kenny doesn't.
I'm going to take Tua. I like the Dolphins in this game. Tua stays undefeated as a starting quarterback, 3-0.
Okay.
And the Rookie of the Year talks will start.
We got the Sunday night game. Baltimore at New England. It is a 6.5 point spread. Here's my quick analogy on it. This is a mismatch of talent this year, Baltimore and New England. But we argued all the time that Belichick versus Lamar Jackson. I am not a true believer in Lamar Jackson yet. I'm not. So I think Baltimore wins. Baltimore should win. But I cannot lay points with Lamar Jackson when they're going to keep him in the pocket against Belichick. So I am going to take the points with New England. I still think Baltimore wins, but I will take the 6.5 points. Carson.
Yeah, no, I'm with you 100%, Kurt. I feel like, I don't know. New England's having an interesting year. We haven't really seen a season like this, especially from Belichick, in a while. But again, it's Bill Belichick. He's, obviously in the contention for greatest coach of all time. I'm gonna go with the Ravens in this one, but I think they cover the spread. Ravens, though, I'm taking them as my winner.
Okay, Kenny.
With you again, Kurt. I live down here, close to Baltimore. I've been watching the Ravens games each week. You know what Belichick's going to do? Cam Newton, scout team this week. You're going to run the Baltimore offense.
Yeah.
He's that type of quarterback, right?
Yeah.
They are going to shut Lamar Jackson down.
Yep.
Mark my words. I'm going even one step further than you, Kurt. Outright upset Patriots.
Okay. Like it. And the Monday Nighter, the hot Minnesota Vikings, led by Carson's Kirk Cousins, at Chicago. Who knows what's going on with Chicago?
They just
But,
changed offensive coordinators. Not changed.
who's going to
Nagy's
call
not
the plays, right?
this week?
Yeah,
So,
I'll start. I'm gonna go. Listen, I need Dalvin Cook. That's my guy in fantasy. So I'm gonna go the Vikings -3. As long as they don't let Cousins throw the ball over the yard, run the ball. Kubiak's running the game. Run, play action. Cousins will be fine. Dalvin Cook show. I think the Vikings beat the Bears. Kenny, where you want to go?
I'm with you on the Vikings. When a team changes quarterbacks, 3 games in, it was 3 games in or 4 games in, they switched quarterbacks.
There's trouble, right?
You say they're in trouble. Now they're changing who's calling the plays. You're in bigger trouble. There's something going on there. There too many changes. Vikings are gonna be. You might see another 38-3 type of game on a primetime game. That's how big Vikings are gonna be.
Well, if it's 38-3, Nagy better be watching his job security. So
I think the Bears are getting down to reality. I know Carson, we've been talking about it like they're overachieving. I think reality's starting to hit the Bears.
Yeah.
where are you going?
Where
Where are you going,
this is where I
Carson?
hate my Lions even more, because we've had 2 opportunities now where we could have won against the Colts and the Vikings, and then the Bears lose twice back-to-back games. And if we win both of our last 2 games, we're only 1 game behind the Packers in the division. And of course, when push comes to shove, we just can't win where we need to win. So I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with the Vikings in this one. I'm gonna take them over the upset over the Bears. I feel like they're starting to get their mojo back. Dalvin Cook obviously had a phenomenal game against my Lions last week. I feel like he's gonna have another breakout game. I'm gonna say he's got 2 touchdowns and over 150 yards. I'm gonna go with the Vikings over the Bears by like 14, believe it or not.
Okay. And there you go, Mr. Kirkpatrick. We got all our picks done under an hour. Do you believe that? It's a miracle. Miracle.
Right on time, my friend.
Listen, what game I mean, obviously, Carson, you're.
I got something real quick for Carson. He's wearing blue and orange, so I'm guessing that's a Tigers.
Yeah, Tigers.
What do you think of the AJ Hinch signing by you guys? Like it? Do you don't like it? Because how did you feel about the Astros?
And that's just it, because I don't know, like all these speculations of them not deserving the ring and that they cheated and all this stuff going on, and he goes down to Detroit, and hopefully he can bring us around here. But again, like, he has that thing in the back of everybody's minds of, well, what was he in on it? Did he have a big role in it? Did they actually cheat? I mean, it's like, we do have a lot of young talent, though. I'm seeing a lot of nice young faces. I mean, we obviously weren't good this year, but we're heading in the right direction. I was talking to my friends last night, and I don't know how in God's name we did not win the World Series in 2012, because we had literally every piece of talent you can ever imagine, and we got swept. It brings back odd nightmares even just to think about that team. But hopefully we can turn it around. I think just Detroit sports in general is just so mediocre and just irritates the god awfulness out of it.
The one team you guys did have were the Red Wings, and they're down now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Red Wings are good. I think we've made the playoffs 25 years in a row, and then we're still. I'm just hoping for I want to see a team that just surprises me this year. Still looking for my first win for the Lions in the playoffs. Pistons are a mess. Tigers are a mess, and the Wings are rebuilding. So
fingers crossed we have a college basketball season and a tournament.
Yeah.
Michigan State. We'll have a lot of fun with that.
Then no one's gonna feel bad for you, Carson. Once that's happening, everyone's gonna be envy you. No one's gonna. They're gonna say, "Well, I don't care about your Lions. You got Michigan State. You're locked in. Don't worry about that. You're done.
Right.
Yeah.
If we can make a run this year and we somehow pull it off, I'll be a lot more happy.
Carson, I still say it. Kenny, how many times did I say it? Were they my pick last year from day one? I never got off them, even when they started.
Even when they were in the tournament as a 7 seed.
Never got off them. Never. They were
way before we knew you.
That was my team. I just have so much. Like, Winston's a winner. Listen, I'm taking Izzo over anybody in a big game. I'm taking Izzo. I mean, I'm sorry. That's my guy, and listen, they'll be back. You'll be right there. You'll be one of the top 8 teams contending for a national title when it comes tournament time. That's his
college basketball. We'll have some fun with
Yeah,
Me too.
Me too.
But all right, boys, that was a good show. Little morning show.
Carson, why don't you plug what you're doing tonight?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Again, big shout out to Kurt and Kenny. I always enjoy talking to these guys. They're great. But yeah, we're gonna be doing if you guys are into casino games like roulette, blackjack, craps, the whole 9 yards, we're going to be doing a big casino game live stream tonight on my YouTube channel. It's called Ticket Time. It's going to be at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're doing a bunch of giveaways. It's going to be fun, and we hope to see you guys there.
And do you do
Awesome.
a live stream with the other channel, Carson Claus, on Sundays?
Yeah. If you guys are into arcade games and that kind of thing, I do live streams on my other YouTube channel, Carson Claus. That's going to be those are every Sundays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So you got something for the adults for the casino games, and if you have kids, you got something for the kids for arcade games. So
Awesome.
Great channels. Kurt's nephews go on Carson Claus. I'm on Ticket Time. We're probably going to set up a team. We're going to team up and do a little sponsorship sometime next week, maybe Wednesday.
Awesome.
We'll figure something out. And I'm going to comment in tonight. Please check him out. Go on his channels.
Absolutely.
Fun stuff, guys. Ladies.
Cool. Yeah, thanks, guys.
All right, boys, enjoy the college football day, NFL, and we'll talk next week.
Good luck to your teams, everybody, and we'll see you next
Sounds good.
Sure.
All right,
always
later,
a
boys.
pleasure, guys. Take care.